Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Teacher's Table. I am Michael Matera, and I absolutely love this community and the space that we've created kind of since Corona started. Thank you for making this a stop. I am super excited to get started. So why don't we do just that and sort of post who's here, who we got here, and how y'all doing? Right? Let's see how everybody is. Excited to kick today off. Another Tastic Tuesday. We got Jennifer here. We got Carrie here. We got Kim here. Scott's back. Good to see you, Scott. Jason's here. That's awesome. I know Jason's doing a lot of work on his game. Excited to hear from you. Phil made it back. Love it. This is just a wonderful community. I dig it. You guys for coming back. Amanda. Hopefully Nashville's treating you well. Eric Nelson here. Welcome. Kyle making it back. Fantastic. Jordan here. Nice to see you. All right. We got so many. Nice. Welcome back. I love this. Nick's here. Elizabeth's here. David Kolb's here. We got a great crew, everyone. So excited to have you here. Today, again, is Tastic Tuesday. Just a reminder for those of you who are sort of tuning in for the first Tastic Tuesday, or if you're catching this after the stream, Teacher's Table, the idea here. All ideas welcome. This is a safe space for teachers to sort of share ideas, both good for the classroom as well as out of the classroom. We want to recognize the multi-dimensional sides of ourselves, right? We're more than just teachers. I know for us teachers, though, that is always like tried and true, like number one. So that's awesome. And then the other thing is Tastic Tuesday. This idea is I intentionally sort of word it that way. It doesn't always have to be tech tools. That's why I didn't add another T to the Tastic Tuesday on Teacher's Table. I could have gone for that 6T, but I didn't. Let's see here. We got some things happening. We got some things. I love it. You guys are trying to guess. I really don't think you're gonna guess today's. But I am excited. I'm excited to share it. Jennifer Ledford here. Fantastic. Jason, I have to agree. So Jason, congrats on being done. Congrats on closing the book on this year. Definitely a unique year for all of us in education around the globe. And I think that that's sort of the unique piece of this whole situation we find ourselves in, that it's not by country, right? It's not by region. It's not by district. Like, this is like something we as humanity like experienced. Holy cow, we're already up to 17 on the like goals. I didn't even put up today's like goal of 20. Let's see if we can get there. Let's see if we can have that dance party a little earlier today. Wow, that's fantastic. So yeah. Oh, we did it. We already hit today's like goal. That's fantastic. Maybe we can see how high we can get that, but let's have our dance party. We made it. Again, thank you everyone for coming back, for being active in the chat here, and being present in our conversation. That's what these like goals kind of remind us all, is to be present, and to be here and share out in this comment box, share out together. So fantastic. We're at 24. I love it. I think our high is 37. I don't know if we'll get that high, but let's keep on going. So it was a tough year. It was a tough year. That's true. So awesome. Yvonne here. Welcome. Lots of congrats to Amanda. Let's go back here. Let's see what we got here. Oh, there it is. I missed it. Amanda, I accepted a middle school band director job yesterday. Let the games begin. Congrats. That is so awesome. I saw a bunch of congrats. I wanted to make sure I pulled that up. Amanda, that is fantastic. I absolutely love middle school. I think you are going to enjoy it. Hopefully, for all of us, we get sort of back to the way we understand sort of school, and that you get that sort of togetherness and that spirit that is in the halls of a middle school. If it happens that we're not quite back the way we used to be, I am sure your new middle school colleagues will tell you about that spirit and even how they are trying to deliver that in the COVID sort of time. All right, let's see what else. John Dell made it. Happy to have you here, John. Deborah made it. Welcome. Ishan made it. Welcome, Ishan. Nice. Yeah, Phil. I think that is a record. 4 minutes in, and we hit our like goal, and we're smashed past that like goal. That's fantastic. Jennifer Knox, the confetti, not ready for that dance party. All right, so Tool-tastic Tuesday. I gotta tell you. So as somebody that goes to conferences quite a bit, and you're at those conferences, and sometimes I take sort of Google Docs sort of notes. Sometimes I just use Notes app to sort of take some of the tidbits that I get from a session. I know many of you do sketchnoting. There's all sorts of fantastic ways to sort of capture the little pearls that you get in a conference. And today's tool I wanted to share is one that I have definitely over the years used time and time again when I'm in those situations, when I'm at a conference. And I absolutely love to use this as sort of a bit of a note-taking, but also a bit of a give back, if you will, right? For those of you who are Twitter old school, right? For those of us that have been in the Twitterverse for a long time, there was a time, there was a moment in Twitter's life for educators, and I don't think we're here anymore. I could be wrong. You guys can correct me, but there was a moment in the Twitterverse when it was almost your job as like the person who got to go to that session, who got to go to that conference, that you almost tweeted out your notes, right? That you would just be putting like, I'm at this session, right? I'm at so-and-so session, and you would just like, boom, link shared, boom, like activity used, boom, here's a quote, like boom, impactful, boom, 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 boom. And at the end of that hour, there'd be like 10 tweets from you that like were the pearls you pulled out of that, right? And now I see so much less of that, right? Like we've sort of reverted back to either personal notes. I hope no one's doing no notes. It's important that we pull something out and we get something from those sessions that we attend. But like I said, there was a time when everyone who was sort of on Twitter would treat it as their job because they're the one that got to be in that room. And for all the rest of us that like didn't make it to Q, for example, I've never been to Q. I would absolutely love to go to a Q event. So for example, let's take that. I've never been to Q, and I know there are great presenters at Q sharing great ideas who are passionate. I know the Q community is passionate, but then like sometimes Twitter's sort of silent, or there's just like tweets about like, I'm excited to see so-and-so, but then it's radio silence from being in that space. And that's a bummer. That's a sort of a shame that Twitter educators in Twitter space have sort of stopped doing that, right? I miss that. So on that note, when I go somewhere to sort of highlight, to sort of up the game a little bit, to sort of catch the eye of somebody, I use a piece of software on my phone that I'm able to take a photo and then put some quotes on it. There are countless apps that do this. I have bought probably 3 or 4 of them, and I'm going to tell you my favorite. But let's queue up my phone here. All right, so I'm going to go into my photography app, and my favorite one here is this Typorama, the T there. Absolutely love Typorama, but like WordSwag's another super popular one. Photo Editor's another big one. There's all sorts of Word Dream. There's a bunch. You can see. I have tried and tried. So, but what I like about this, you can use some default preset sizes, right? So let's say I was going to do a Twitter post, right? I can go into photos. I can use their, choose from sort of my photos, search the stock images, right? So, boom. Let's do one. Oh, I'm in airplane mode, so it's not going to let me do that. So let's use my photos. Here's my daughter and I making chocolate cake the other day. I can put, whoop. I'll go back here. Edit. I like this photo better. So here's my sort of example. What I would do in a session, guys, is I would take lots of photos of the speaker, typically right away, because I don't need to have an image of them saying the quote, right? So you just try to take some photos. So I always try to sit a little up front, not maybe the front row, but a little bit back. And I try to take the photo knowing that I need negative space off to one of the sides to put their quote, right? So try to like get that and get them in different poses, get them sort of pointing and saying something, right? Like, you know, getting that sort of moment, right? This moment, right? And I take 5 or 6 of those in the first 5 minutes of their session. And then I load up here and I actually sort of write where I am, who I am, like where it is, right? So maybe I'll pre-write ISTE, right? I can pre-make that. I mean, you can change the font, right? Let's go with this. Let's go with like a, so I mean, I could like put that in the corner, right? Actually, better yet, here, I'm gonna do the one I miss. Boop, boop. USM Spark, right? So I can just have that in the corner, ready to go. I hit the plus button at the top to add another text box. And now what I might do is put the speaker, because I know I'm at Chuck Taft's session, right? Maybe do that a little different. Maybe add the little dash, right? I can make it smaller. So I'm all queued to go. I might be doing this before the session even starts, right? And I apologize. I know there's probably lots of comments going on here and I'm not getting to them, but I just wanted to show you sort of my tip. So I already got the Chuck Taft, I got the USM Spark, and I already took some photos in the first 3 minutes. Now I'm just ready for Chuck Taft to say some sort of gem, some sort of jewel, and I type it in and I can put that quote in. Let's just pretend he said this. No, we're going to say this. So let's say that was what Chuck Taft said. And you can see there are all sorts of fun styles. Just boatload of them. Boop. And again, you can go in here. You can resize it. You can change the color on this. I mean, you can do all the things you think you can, right? So, boom. You can add a drop shadow, right? You can change what the drop shadow is. You get it. There is so many things you can do on here. The other thing I like is you can add to the image here, you can add overlays, right? So I can take that, I can reduce the intensity of that overlay. You can obviously do sort of the Instagram filter sort of thing. You can adjust your photograph. You get it. There's a boatload of things you can do on here. And when I do that and then tweet out the graphic. And again, because I've already got 5-6 photos of the person, and I already have it USM Spark, I already have it Chuck Taft. It takes me 2 seconds to sort of load, like reload this image, drop the image, change the image, but I can keep Chuck Taft USM Spark, and boom, in 20 seconds, I'm ready for the next Chuck Taft quote to go out. And so in that session, depending on what Chuck Taft says, I can quote out 3, 4, 5, 6 of these beautiful looking different photos of Chuck Taft making these statements. That it is awesome for the speaker. I mean, it really, like most speakers have commented afterwards, they really appreciate having me in the session and sharing these things out. But also, ultimately, other people at the conference. I mean, like, you start getting tweets from people that are like, I'm not even at that session. Like, sounds great. What are you using to make these quote tweets? It is Typorama. I absolutely love it. Again, there are other software that does it. So again, I don't want to claim this is the only one. It is the one I've used for quite some time, and I absolutely love Typorama and give it two thumbs up. All right, so that was super long-winded. Let's go back on some of these quotes. I gotta scroll quite far back. Yeah, I can't believe that was 2 years ago. That's crazy. Jennifer Ledford is here or was here, and she does do amazing sketch notes. I don't have that ability, but this kind of has that same appeal of a sketch note because people catches their eye, right? So on Twitter, I was sort of having a conversation a little bit ago about how photos, just straight photos on Twitter, aren't as impactful as they used to be. But when you do something like this, where you edit it, you got that little filter, you got that little, sunshine spot in the corner by the quote or whatever, like the cool font, all of that added up, people stop and sort of check that out. That's fantastic, much like a sketch note. John, I love that you like my lock screen. This Lego guy, boop, boop, my daughter gave to me. She gave each of us one of these old school Lego astronauts. I absolutely love it. She gave her mom one, me one, and then she has one, all different colors. And it's so that when she's at her mom's house, I can think of her and she can think of her mom, right? It's this thing that kind of connects us, which is kind of cool. I dig it. And I love that you love the background. So I had to make it my background because I always want to think of her. Let's see here. I would love to go to some of those. Our school doesn't give us the opportunity. I started going to USM Spark on my own and had great experiences there. That's so awesome. I mean, going to a conference is huge. Kyle, but whenever that fires back up, you have to make it to an educational conference. And then the other thing I sort of implore you to do is take time to make connections. So you're not going to like K-12 school, you're going to like college. Think of it that way, right? K-12 school, you better get in your seat. You better like take your notes, right? Yeah, very little freedom. At an educational conference, treat it a little bit more like college. You are there to learn, but you are also there to socialize, to be together, to be in a space together. So make sure you take advantage of going out to lunch with some of the people that you're in a session with, right? When they're all like chit-chatting and it was great and you're talking and this was awesome, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, hey, we're going to grab a bite to eat. Like, you're kind of like, can I take along? Like, awesome. Make sure you make those kind of connections. It's a huge, huge opportunity. Jason, I fully agree. Happy last day of Pride Month as well. Be kind to people today. Be kind to people every day. I think it's awesome that we have kind of heightened awareness. But the idea of having any of these months where we sort of highlight something is to hopefully shift our attitudes and mindsets for the rest of the year. So as we sort of close on Pride Month, let's make sure we're making a shift in our own minds moving forward, right? Cake. It was awesome, Jennifer. I have made like cake 2-3 times in my life, except the carrot cake. I've made a bunch, but I've never made chocolate cake. That was the first time making it. It was delicious. Uh, yeah, John Dell hitting the same story there. Uh, Kyle, me too. All right, we got another one here. Jennifer, thank you for sharing this. This is what I used in my session. I've used Canva, but I like this better. It, like I said, is just a nice tool, a nice little piece of software. And again, you can make things quick. Uh, Kim, Kim knows. Kim's been on Well Played podcast, and she and I both share a sort of a love of design and PR. She is an absolute genius at that. And so, yeah, she's egging me on here a little bit. Yes, I do love that. Jennifer Knox, my students would definitely let you know that my own sort of personal sound effects follow me wherever I go. I always do a little boop, 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 right? There's just tons of them. And now the world gets to know that here on Teacher's Table. Super awesome. Let's see here. Phil, definitely check it out. It is a really nice app. And like I said, super powerful and super nice to use. Again, there are others, though. The app is called Typorama. Like I said, also the image of the speaker, I think, is tremendously impactful, and it's a bit to show that like you're there, like you're here. Again, it's that presence, right? And I think that goes a long way on the internet. So many of you chit-chatting. That's awesome. Do do do. Nice. Treat it like college. That's awesome. Yeah, Kyle, it is fantastic, and I hope you get to make it. Mm. Nick Davis, you know it. I mean, Legos are magical. I loved going to AMLE. In fact, I just found out 2 sessions got approved for the next AMLE. I was a little bummed though. One of my favorite sessions that I so want to like have, and it's so middle school. Like it is so fantastic, and I want to share it. Unfortunately, that one didn't make it. I want to like almost write them and say like, can I switch? Like I know you've approved these two, but this other one. Yeah, Kathy Sue, I absolutely love this sort of attitude. Uh, this idea, right, that like you have something that you know and love. This right here is an educator tweet, if I've ever seen one. She has a thing she does, she has a thing she likes, yet she's like, I'm excited to try the new thing, right? That's how we grow, right? We get out of our our normal ruts, which might be good ruts. Like we have these routines because they sort of work. We have established practices. We have established sort of things we do in our classrooms. But Kathy Sue's point here is like, but I'm excited to try that new thing, and that new thing may not become an established routine for her, but it might, and it's worth checking out, and that's fabulous. So I love that you sort of give us that perspective, Kathy Sue. Nick Davis asked if I ever used it in my class. Yes ish. I kind of like the way you word it, and I think that I should probably use it more in class for the similar way. But I've done it for some of my like parent info stuff where I'll take a photo and I'll sort of quote tweet it a little bit. An activity we're doing, or sometimes on Twitter, I'll take a photo and kind of same thing. Like, this is what I did today. It was super awesome. Like when you're elated, when you're so excited and you kind of want the world to know. Yeah, I'll let the world know with this app what's sort of happening in my classroom, right? When you know what I mean, right? Like you educators get it. when you're so elated because of something they did, something that happened, maybe a positive interaction with a colleague, like whatever, like you're just in this headspace of positivity and it bubbles over. Like Typorama in my classroom is maybe where I go to let that bubble over. Uh, let's see. Kathy Sue, could it be used for students to create book snaps? It totally could. I can't remember what Typorama costs. I think it's a few bucks though, so I don't think it's free. But I could be wrong. I mean, like literally, I've owned Typorama for like 5 years, so I have no idea. uh, it could work for book snaps, totally, right? For sure. And again, offers a lot of little editing potentials there, and fun fonts. Man, this has been quite a Tooltastic Tuesday. So I don't know if Carrie's still here. I don't know if any of you placed bets on Carrie. Did anybody get it right that I was going to share an app on my phone today? I thought that was a sort of fun difference. But it's also something that I think it strikes both sides of the fence, right? Like us as educators and us as just people. I've definitely used Typorama to sort of just make that perfect tweet, that perfect Facebook post, that perfect Instagram tweet, or Instagram gram. There you go. For just what's happening in my life, right? Like a moment with my daughter. Like you saw that photo in there of my daughter, for example. So absolutely love it. Typorama Pro is $17.99. Oof. I don't know if I have Pro. Now I kind of want to check that out because there was not Pro 5 years ago. That wasn't a thing. Uh, Carrie saying, never would have guessed. Jennifer says we're at 31 likes, close to the record. That's fabulous. Google Slides is my favorite. I don't know what that's in reference. I gotta find Jason. Oh, here's Jason's. I like slides. That actually was one of my other Tooltastic Tuesdays, right? I dig slides for a lot of reasons. I don't think it would necessarily work in this space, at least the speed at which it would work. Because again, I'm trying to like live tweet it. So there's my tips, right? Like take photos of the speaker, a bunch of them in the beginning, try to get 5, 6, 10, whatever, of that speaker. Sit close to the front. Come on, teachers. Don't be like those students that sit all the way in the back and are disengaged. Like, why are you there then? Like, you should be loving being there, right? This is an educational rock concert, and I don't care who's up at that front. I don't care if it's their first time presenting. Like, they are out there sharing an idea. They're out there putting out what they think is what's needed in this world. Like, you should be there to catch it, right? Let's see. Ooh, lots on Google Slides. Let's see what we got. Oh, here. Maybe this is where the slides comments are coming from. Tech Like a Pirate by uh, Matt Miller is just released. It seems fantastic. I haven't had an opportunity to read it. I know he sent me like a little preview of a section that I'm sort of in, but other than that, I haven't read it. I've been using Google Slides to reskin the board game Chronicles of Crime and spice up the most boring unit ever. I would love to chit chat with you about that. In fact, I don't know if you have any time later this week. That needs to be a well played if you got a chance, because Chronicles of Crime is a super cool game that sort of took QR codes and sort of embedded it into a board game and made it sort of modular. It is fantastic. Jason, you and I have to chit chat about that. That's awesome. Jennifer Knox, you laughing at me? You laughing at me, Jennifer Knox? I hope not. I hope not. I love that you sit in that front row. That's fantastic. All right, everybody. It's that time. We've started our day together. It's been lovely. I hope you use this tip as well as some of our others. I really appreciate all of you coming around the table each and every week. It is so fantastic to have these discussions. I cannot believe we made it to 30 on our likes today. That's fantastic. And just a reminder, we're not having Teachers Table this Thursday in sort of respect to the fact that some people might be traveling to family and friends for the 4th. And so no Teachers Table this Thursday, but we'll be back at it next week, Tuesday, and next week, Thursday after that. And I look forward to seeing you guys all then. It is so lovely to start my day this way. I've absolutely loved it. Conversations, fantastic. And I hope you guys get after your day and have a good one. All right, guys, take care. See you next week.